What's going on, everyone? Just finished our episode now. It's episode 16, I think. I'm just losing track now because we're just fucking podcast ballers, mate.
So many apps.
But yeah, we've just finished recording now, and we had on another special guest, and this week's was possibly one of the most special, in my opinion.
It was.
Only because the episode, me personally, it was super relevant to the shit I've been going through at the minute. We had on our first female guest. She's called Mel, and she runs a Instagram account which is called Men Against Moving Mountains. And she I don't want to say the wrong things because I know she didn't kind of like the word
Advocate, yeah,
kind of. But she basically is a woman that fucking just gets men and gets the whole stigma bollocks and men don't open up and all stuff like that. And talking to her was just unreal. I've never had a conversation with a woman like that before. And
no, it was very eye-opening, wasn't it?
Getting goosebumps from the shit she was saying. And she was saying stuff, and she had me and Ryan fucking nearly on the floor crying.
Oh, mate, we were choking up at points, weren't we?
I teared up at one point, and I had to wipe my tears away because I'm a troubled boy. No, honestly, and no offence to any of our other guests because I love all these, but that fucking episode hit different for me. Probably just because I related quite a lot to it. But yeah, it's just unreal, and you're in for a fucking treat because that was insane. I loved it.
Yeah, it was absolutely mint. I think the TBC members are going to enjoy this one.
Yeah, what a woman as well.
She's absolutely awesome, isn't she?
She's absolutely donning her page out, mate. She's got fucking nearly 10,000 followers, and it's all organic, no fucking ads, paying for shit. She just gets it.
Yeah, she gets it. Yeah, she gets it, and we feel so seen. It's untrue.
But yeah, slightly moving on. Before we jump into the episode, we I think, I don't know whether this is just going to be a this week thing or we're going to trial it anyway. But we're going to start doing the Who You Drinking, which is this some mad 4D chess shit, which we've been doing quite a lot of recently. But we've obviously just finished recording, but we're doing the intro now. So the intro is after, so it's like an outro. But we're doing an intro. Nah, joke. So we do the intro after the episode, and then when I edit it, I'm putting it at the start. So we've obviously already done the Who You Drinking shit with our fucking beers brought to us by Beer 52. But yeah, we're going to start doing it at the start of the show, which is...
Yeah, it's different. We'll see how it goes down.
See how it goes.
So, without further ado, who are you drinking, Jay?
Who am I drinking? So I'm just got the one beer here, which Ryan picked for me, just based purely on the design of the can, because he knows I'm a fucking design wanker. But yeah, it's a hazy IPA. It's called Opposites Attract, which I'm a big believer in. And it's the name of the beer is called, you might have to help me out with this because I'm fucking dumb as fuck, but I think it's called Amundsen. Amundsen? Amazon. Dragon's Den. No, it's called Amundsen or something like that. But it's basically a hazy IPA. Just trying to see it don't really, these beers don't have any.
They don't have any description.
It doesn't have a fucking description on it. Just has the ingredients.
I think it's got the Instagram handle on it there.
Well, it's Opposites Attract, hazy IPA, and it's Amundsen. People don't want to hear me trying to read it on a fucking podcast. I'll give you that for free. But anyway, it's a good beer. It's fucking hazy. It's the percentage, I think I've seen it before, 5.5%. It's vegan too. So
is it?
It's got no fucking fish bumhole in there.
Oh, fuming.
And as well, without trying to sound like a wanker, like a proper fucking IPA wanker, when I opened it before the episode, first thing I did was sniff it.
Oh,
It
yeah.
smells delicious. It smells like...
What was the taste like, though? When you had your first sip, what was it like?
Mate, not to echo what you said last week, but it was fucking majestic. First of all, it smelled unreal. When you smell an IPA, and again, I feel like a prick saying this, but when you smell an IPA, they smell different, and this one smells like hoods, mate. It takes me there. It takes me to that special fucking happy place where I'm playing pool, football's on, and I'm going far too into this description. Beer 52 are going to bin us off, mate.
Are they fucked?
Yeah, mate. Mint beer. And we are going to start taking pictures of the beers and putting them on our Insta stories and set up like a
We'll try and get a pic of you just cracking it open and then you get in the first whiff.
Me just sniffing the beer.
Yeah.
Cutting my nose.
That'll make for a good, like, you know, when you take a picture, it takes like 10 of them at the same time.
Content, I see.
But for me...
Mate, what are you doing?
Oh, my bad.
I'm going to ask you, bro.
Oh, sorry.
Fucking hasty boy.
My bad.
Who are you drinking, Ryan?
Oh my god. It feels so good getting asked. So I'm drinking the 4th Astronaut Double IPA. And yes, Jay, it is out of this world.
Let me stop recording.
It is from Many Worlds Brewing. It is a double IPA, so you know it's cooking. It's 7.4%.
Ooh.
And this is also vegan as well. And it's just beautiful, man. It's a double, so you know it's kicking.
Oh, mate, when it's double, you know.
But like the first couple of swigs are just,
Unreal.
God, just so hoppy.
Hoppy.
Honestly,
That's like
mate,
saying H has got flow.
I feel like Bugs Bunny, mate. Honestly, I'm hopping so much.
Nice.
It's beautiful. But I'm not being a little bitch this week, and I've got actually 2 on the go.
Oh, God.
I have also got
It's flames, that, mate.
a Rebels cologne, which is from Germany, and it's it doesn't say where it's brewed. My apologies, but this one.
What's he on the picture? Is he spraying himself in the eyes?
I think he's spraying himself with something.
Dude, mate.
But yeah, the can's unreal. Definitely something that you can't get in the supermarket for sure.
Oh, 100%.
So, but you know where you can get them from, don't you, TBC members?
Go on, tell them where they can get these beers from.
You can get your own free pack of these 8 beers of the world from our partners, Beer 52. All you need to do is go to www.beer52.com/TBC.
Tell them again.
That is beer52.com/TBC. Claim your free pack. All you got to do is pay a bit of postage for your boys. That's it. Be right at your doorstep.
And they come very quickly as well.
Oh, mate, it's like 24-hour turnaround.
I think like when you press order, within like 5 minutes, they're on your doorstep, mate. But to be fair, is it a different box every week or is it every month, the box?
I think it's a different box every month.
Yeah, so it's every month. And this in this box, is it the...
I think we got the Scandinavian box. Yeah.
So you get your snacks in this one, and Ryan's not at all the snacks this time, which is good. He's actually saved a snack for me, which is the veggie jerky that you get in this one. So it's essentially like beef jerky, but it's got no animal up in this bitch.
So yeah, that's why I didn't eat it, because I knew you'd like them.
Yeah, and well, then I'm going to scram them after we finish recording. But have you read the magazine this week?
The award-winning Ferment magazine.
Ferment magazine
tells you all about the beers that you're drinking in the case. What more do you want?
Nothing, mate. Just the beers.
Just the beers, yeah, innit?
But yeah, mate. That's our shout out for Beer 52.
Shout out Beer 52. We love ya.
We do. And then on that note, let's jump into this episode.
TBC out.
Peace. Today we have a very special guest. It's the Trouble Boys Club first ever female guest. So today we'd like to give a warm welcome to Mel, who runs the Instagram page Men Against Mountains, the movement.
Welcome, Mel.
Hi, thanks guys.
Thank you very much for taking time to come on our show.
I'm totally honoured.
I do have a little icebreaker question for you first, if you wouldn't mind partaking.
Okay.
So, can you tell us if you could only invite 3 dinner guests to your dinner, like a come dine with me type scenario?
Yeah.
Who would they be? Like famous, not famous, dead or alive? Like you got 3 people to fill and you're cooking them a nice lasagna.
Okay. Oh my God, definitely Oliver Reed, I think. There's one, like, oh God, probably Ben Harper, the musician, which probably not many people know. Oh my God, and Chester Bennington, I think.
the Linkin Park lead singer.
Yeah.
We're just Googling who the other two are.
I googled Oliver Reed quickly then on the call.
Oliver Reed was like he's a very well-known actor, died a few years back, but he was probably addicted to alcohol, like so funny. Google him, he's hilarious, but he was a brilliant actor. And I read his autobiography like a few years back, and just a really fascinating man.
He was in Gladiator as well.
Yes, you're right.
What a film that is.
Didn't see that just because I threw it up on Google.
Oh no, I knew that instantly.
Yeah, I don't know who I'd pick if I was to have 3 people.
It's hard, isn't it? It's a hard question because there's so many inspirational people out there.
Yeah, definitely. I actually don't know who I'd pick. Do you know who you'd pick?
I think I'd pick
Batman.
Bruce Wayne. I'd probably pick David Silva, who's my favourite footballer. And
nice.
I'd probably have you as well, Jay, you know.
You can't have me.
Why not? I love you. I want to have a lasagna with you.
Fair enough, mate. Fair enough. As long as it's a veggie lasagna, I'm down.
Oh no, your invite's revoked.
Yeah, so anyway, great answers, Mel. And yeah, just to obviously kick off the episode, just want to say we've had a look on your page, and you know we think what you do is absolutely incredible. You're so open and honest with all your own things and like everything that you've like been through, and the things that you've struggled with, and then
I'd like to add as well, Mel. We really like your tattoos.
Yeah, I've got to stop. I still haven't finished yet. I'm still doing my chest piece at the moment. So
how much body have you got left?
Bigger.
They're addictive, aren't they? Though, you know, once you sort of like, it's like the pain of them is quite addictive, I find.
Yeah, I would say tattoos are my sort of self-sabotage now, if that will make some sense to probably quite a lot of people out there. Like, we go from like hurting ourselves, but this is sort of a better type of hurt.
Yeah. Can you remember what your first tattoo was?
Oh God, I had a little blue rose on my back of my shoulder when I was like about 16. I was underage. And yeah, I had that done. It's covered over now. So like a lot of them are actually. I've had them over and over and over again. I'm still not finished.
So Mel, I know you don't like the term female advocate. So I guess like part of the first question is, can you think of a better term?
Oh God, I don't know. Just like someone who cares, like a woman who cares. I don't know. I don't like the term advocate because I don't think I'm necessarily put into that category. I don't know. I would say, or there is a term saying advocate like a mother, which I suppose I'm more of a mothery sort of type. So that's how I'd rather be looked upon, I suppose. That's some like the feedback I get off the men anyway.
Yeah. Well, I'm excited to like find out more about the page and everything. But before we jump into your page, do you mind just like telling us a bit like about you and you know what's kind of inspired you to like do what you're doing?
What with Men Against Mountains? Yeah. God, I've struggled so much over my life from in my early 20s, and then had like a really good run, and then sort of when I got into my sort of late 30s things started declining again, and I think, you know, when I was younger there was no Instagram, there was no Facebook, when I was even, you know, there was none of that around, so the type of support that was available was either muddling your way through and winging it sort of type thing. And it felt very isolating and alone, you know, especially if you didn't sort of have conversations like back in the day either. There was, you know, you didn't even have Google. You didn't even Google your symptoms back then, you know. So, yeah, I think I've got so much self-awareness of my own to my own difficulties and getting like through literally on my own most of my life. I've got good friends, I've got good family, but I think the mental health or the mental health decline part of it and mental health struggles have been quite isolating for me. So I think that's where I resonate with a lot of the men I speak to. But things have changed, considerably in the last sort of 10 years. So a lot of my sort of downfall or decline have been sort of quite recently as well. So
I was going to ask as well, like, do you kind of find, I'm trying to word this right, but do you find that going through kind of like difficult things kind of helps you, come out of the other end? Or I suppose it can go both ways, can't it? Because you can either like spiral and, things can get a lot worse, or you can go through something quite bad and you can come out the other end a lot better. Like, do you find that happens more with you, or like you said, when things have not gone so right in the past?
Oh God, I'm still trying to work things out. A lot of the things that I've gone through, I'm still on my journey. Definitely still on my journey, still learning, still adapting, still trying to find my way through some of it. There's a couple of things I've never even spoken about, not on the page.
Yeah.
But I think you have to find that sort of self and get that clarity within first. You have to be really ready to be able to sort of share that with an audience as well. Yeah. I mean, I've been very open with the majority of it. There's still a couple of things that I've not held back, but I'm still learning through it, and I think there will become a time where I do share it. It's just that, yeah.
No, that is the thing with doing things like on a mental health page and like a podcast and all stuff like that. Like, all you want to do is share everything, don't you? And pass this kind of information on. But at the same time, like, there is just some things that are like, I don't know, like, not that you don't feel comfortable saying it, but there is some things that are just like really personal, and it's not necessarily the right platform for you to be sharing it on, because we've been very, very transparent with a lot of our kind of shit that we've been through, and we've spoke about a lot of it, but there is like other things too that, like, I don't know, there's some things that, like, you just don't really need to say, or I don't know, I'm trying to word it right, but it's not coming out right, but like,
I just think sometimes you've got to be really ready to do it, and I've always said, like, we're ready when you are. So I've had men followed my page right from the beginning, and a couple of them are like, are only just saying, I really want to come on, I'm ready to come on the live now. So, like, that's like 3 years on. So I think you've got to be there's a time when you are ready to sort of share your story.
Yeah.
And part of the healing journey is giving back, and I think when you've been through whatever you've been through, there comes a time when you think, do you know what, I need to give back. I want to give back. It really helps with the healing.
100%. And I think that's one of the main reasons why we did this, what we're doing. I just wanted to ask as well, sorry, you mentioned lives. Is that just where you like kind of go on Instagram Live or whatever, and you'll do like a Q&A?
Yeah, I'm not so cool as having the podcast.
That's cooler than a podcast. We could do that.
It is cooler.
Yeah. I think, I started sharing the stories on the page initially by text. So guys come and share their photograph and then just a little bit about themselves and their journey. And whether it was like a recovery story, they're in the midst of it, or as you said, they were ready to give back, they started sharing their stories on the page. And then it sort of just organically went into the lives. I suppose a little bit of progression from my point, to keep it raw and keep it real. But yeah, I don't know even when they started. It just organically ended up like that, I suppose.
Yeah, it is cool, and also as well, like, massive congrats as well, because you've got like nearly 10,000 followers. That's amazing.
Yeah, it's all organically grown though. I've never promoted any posts, like sponsored posts or anything like that. I've never put any money in Men Against Mountains. But yeah, I've never really gone and added loads of people all at once to try and grow my following. It has like literally been people coming to me and sticking with it, which is wonderful. But yeah, obviously everyone gets the unfollows. When people follow you just to follow back, and then they follow you, and that sort of game sort of mentality. And I try to stay out of all of that. I'm not sort of into that. I need to reach this to be thought of better or to have a blue tick. I'm not really into that. I'm quite surprised I've even got that following, really. I don't know how it happened, but that's, it just all naturally came, I suppose.
Yeah, well, you must be doing something right, Mel, because we've got a rule that we only follow back people who have been a guest on our show. That's our sort of little ethos, if you want to call it.
Yeah, because I think when we started out, we weren't trying to be all niche and hipsterish, but we was like, we'll see how many people follow us and stuff like that, and we just won't follow anyone. I don't know why we had that idea, but we didn't want to, like you said, just start bombarding people and following random people and stuff. We kind of wanted it to mean something, and then as it went on, every time we've had a guest on, we now follow the guest, and I think it's a nice little touch that we always every person we follow has been on the show and stuff. So kind of just that happened organically too, like you said about your page.
It's a nice thing, I think, because they're the people who have like chose to open up to us. Like sometimes it's been their first time opening up, and it's been with us. So it's been mega, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's really refreshing to hear that as well, because mine's very much the same. Most of the men that have been on my lives or shared their story have never ever done it before. I broke their life cherries, and it's what I say, they're like, they've never openly spoken about, their story. Yeah. Maybe to the odd close friend or their partners and stuff, but nothing, so sharing your story, like on an open platform, I'm surprised every time I get a message from someone saying or asking if they can come on. I'm just blown away every week.
No, it is amazing when people will come on. But I just wanted to say, Mel, like, you can take my live cherry any day. I've never done a live or anything like that. I've got a good story, to be fair. No, I don't know whether you necessarily. I might even have to go solo on this because.
Oh wait, what?
No, I was just gonna say because obviously. Our first couple of episodes...
We come as a package deal, man.
No, but I mean, our first couple of episodes is where we opened up about us, and then obviously we've taken them down because obviously, like, certain things that we told about our story, other people...
We overshare due to our lack of experience on this kind of
But
platform.
I'm more than happy to still share my story, whereas with Ryan's, we're not obviously doing anything about Ryan's background out of respect and stuff like that. But you can still be in the background and chirp in because you were still a big part of my childhood. Like, you were still there.
I'll just be over your shoulder and chime in with that. I was there.
You can just watch me get my cherry taken.
Oh yeah, I'll get like a wet flannel for you and pat you down and stuff. It's okay, James. I'm here.
Oh, that's brilliant.
But Mel, do you find some sort of comfort in hearing other people's stories? So it's like a togetherness, like I've not got it, not as bad, but it's like someone else is out there suffering as well as me. It's like a sort of community feel that like you're going through it as well, I'm going through it as well, like we're going to get through it together. Because I find it weirdly comforting when I hear about other people, and it's like I'm not the only one. You know what I mean? Everyone else is going through some shit, and sometimes you can look internally and think, it's just me, I'm plagued.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. There can be the self-stigma attached to our own thoughts and feelings, isn't it? I'm the only one, no one gives a shit, that sort of type thing. And I swear, by the way, I forgot to...
Yeah, no, of course you can, yeah.
It's all right there, because I sometimes do. But yeah, I think mental health decline or mental health life challenges and stuff can be really isolating. And I think when you're met on the other side with a little bit of compassion and understanding, you realise there's loads of other people out there that feel exactly the same way you do. It is comforting. And yeah, just the community that grows within that, ripples out, it's just incredible.
No, it is, definitely. Like you said, it's one of my favourite things about doing this too, what we do.
Yeah, hearing people be so like open and being vulnerable, because like a lot like you say on your page and stuff, Mel, like men are somewhat do struggle more than women to open up about their feelings and stuff. But when you actually hear people's stories, you can hear the like pain behind it, if you know what I mean, as in what they're trying, the rawness, and that they're obviously trying to articulate the pain that they've been through, and you can just tell it's hard for them.
I think one of my favourite things as well is what I've noticed since myself and Ryan have been doing this podcast is I've noticed that there's certain people that would like never open up and never like, you know, they're not very much into like mental health, and you know, quite a lot of men are like that. It's obviously a very old fashioned like stigma or whatever, but I've noticed like since we've done this, people have kind of and I always call it like a ripple effect or like a chain reaction, where people have heard this and seen what we're doing. Because when we first set this up, I felt like a bit embarrassed, like not ashamed of it, but a bit like people might think we're a bit like fucking geeks or something for doing it. Like I just felt a bit cringy doing it, like you know. But now we're obviously like 16 episodes in, we've been around for like 4 or 5 months, and so now it just feels a part of my life. But yeah, like the thing that I was saying that I really like the most is when I see other people opening up and other people talking, or I've seen other people, I started going to therapy and they'll be open about it, and they never would have been before hearing this. And that's the most refreshing thing for me, seeing not just getting guests on, but seeing what we're doing gives other people the courage to do it.
Yeah, it's quite rewarding, isn't it?
Through us, like seeing them opening up. But it's like when we started this up as well, like I remember saying like our main goal is, first of all, we said if we get one listener, like as a joke, and then as well as that, we said like even if we got one person that messaged us and said we love what you're doing, or you know, we could get a guest on. And like I said, we've only had, I think, is it about 6 guests or 5 guests or something? Like
I think it's 6.
But like now we've got a load of guests back to back for the next like 2 months, and we've been doing really well, like with all like the social media stuff and like engaging. But yeah, I just love getting a guest on, and you know, I feel like every guest we've had on, we've stayed in really good contact with them, and like we speak to them quite a lot on Instagram, or you know, like even the other day. I've been kind of going through a bit of a rough patch, and like you said, it's not something that I'm going to openly like speak about on the podcast and stuff because it's quite personable. But I put something on our Instagram the other day saying like I've deleted my own social medias and stuff like that, so I don't want anyone to think I've deleted them, but I'm still going to carry on with the boys club because it really helps. And you know, I just said, so I'm just putting that out there so everyone knows or whatever. And I got quite a lot of messages off like people, didn't I? Do you know, there's people that we've done the podcast with, even people we've not spoken to, and just people that follow us. And you know, I said to Ryan, like, it felt so nice because like, I'd never normally in my normal life, like on my own personal Instagram, put something on and be like, I'm really struggling, because that's not what I do, and I didn't do it for that reason. I put a post on the Trouble Boys Club Instagram just saying like, I'm going through a bit of a rough time, and I've deleted my own social medias. I don't want anyone to think I deleted them, and that was it really. But I've literally got like probably about 15-20 people message me and just be like, oh, he's here, we need to chat, like, you know, sorry to hear you go through a rough time. And it was just so nice because essentially most of the people were strangers, and like the fact that they took the time out of the day to message me to ask how I'm doing or say that they're here if I need to chat, it's just really, really nice.
That's the wonderful thing about the mental health community on Instagram and Facebook, and in these spaces that, you know, that people connect through. You know, you stumble across people, and I've made such wonderful friends through the page, like lifelong friends. It's like a different environment to my own. It feels like it's almost like a parallel universe to my own friends and my family and stuff like that.
100%.
It's like a different type of community. I get so much. It's on a different level to my friendships.
It's like a different connection almost, isn't it? Because you know that you've both got that.
Yeah, it's a different, because we're connecting through these lived experiences, and like you said, like when you share something, and it doesn't have to be massive or, you know, but it just leads by example, and it just gives people that permission to say that this is okay. You know, I'm not necessarily a massive fan of it's okay not to be okay thing. It's been like really overused, and it's a bit fluffy for me, but at the same time it's helped people, and it just sparks maybe something inside somebody, So I think people just feel comfortable sharing it within the mental health community, but necessarily not on their private socials.
Yeah.
So that's maybe what we need to change. And we need that to filter back out into local communities, into families, into workplaces, and not just have it in this sort of mental health community. It's got to spread out. There's no point in us advocating for change and action. We can raise awareness as much as we want, but the action is where we're going to save lives.
Yeah, we need it to funnel into sort of everyday life and not just in this space or hemispace or community, whatever you want to call it. Like, it's got to ripple through people's, everyday lives.
Yeah, I think it is slowly, but I think that, and a lot of stigma still, it is that I suppose confidence of how I'm going to be met. I'm met with understanding compassion in this space. But you take into a home and then you're like, people are being disregarded, men are being disregarded by their partners, by their families, by work colleagues, by bosses. It's terrible what goes on. Some of the things that I've heard, it's so heartbreaking.
No, definitely. Sorry, Mel. The connection just went a bit dodgy then, so you went a little bit robot-y, but hopefully it'll sort itself out. Yeah. only for
unless you were doing a robot impression, in which case, kudos, because that was really good. But Mel, what led you to starting up a page surrounding male mental health and not female?
Yeah, well, I haven't been asked this question. Surprisingly, you'd think I would have, wouldn't you?
Yeah, I was going to say I've been asked this question.
I know, times. Buzzing that we're the first to clock it.
I haven't. Like, I think that's what's so lovely about it. Is not. I've just been accepted into this space without actually being sort of interrogated by it. Not saying you guys are, but that was probably my fear going into this. Was that I was going to get a lot of trolling, I was going to get a lot of backlash. And it was literally, it's so simple how it was created in the first place. I literally just opened up about my own struggles. And a few of my male friends messaged me and said, "Oh my God, Mel, thank you. You just, that resonated, what you said with me so much, but I really wish I could actually speak about this." And I'd sort of ask the questions, listen to them. And, they felt like they just had no one to open up to. They felt like they couldn't, and this is the stigma. This is going back a few years. And even though things are changing, these were some really good male friends of mine that couldn't open up to their wives, wow. Which was really, there was some big things going on. And they were real, it wasn't necessarily a mental health, depression or anything like that. It was a life challenge and things like that they were going through, but they were really struggling with.
Well, I was going to say, I know that you spoke, like you said, you've spoken to a lot of different males about stuff like that, but if you was to kind of summarise it, what would you say the most general thing is that men tend to struggle to open up to their own wives about? If you could think of an example off the top of your own head.
Yeah, just things like financial worries, just actually to do with their relationship themselves. Just feeling not worthy, not good enough, a lot of self-doubt, real life challenges. It's a bit of grief. If they say a guy lost his father, they feel like they can only open up within that small amount of time. It's okay to cry at the funeral, but then after that, there's not much support and those sort of type things. And I think a lot of it, the social pressures and things like that. So these were my male friends. And then this started petering out a little bit. So their friends started messaging me. And I was just like, okay, why are men talking to me? Just this woman randomly, and that's what was happening. So one of my other friends started sharing his stuff quite openly on Facebook. And we decided together to create Men Against Mountains. So it was initially set up with me and a friend.
Oh shit! I think we've just lost you again, Mel, if you can hear us.
Did you hear that last bit?
We heard that you and your friend started the page together.
Yeah, so he was going through a lot of life challenges himself. He was just being diagnosed with bipolar. There's a lot going on. He was very suicidal, and we started the page. We started doing like the posts every day and things like that. And then like he just decided that he couldn't do it anymore. And then this is when the thing was like, can I do this on my own?
Yeah.
This is when my self-doubt, am I able to carry this on and build these relationships? I've already had such good feedback from men saying they find it easy to talk to me. And they'd say to me, I can talk to you about anything, Mel. Why, I weren't going to tell you that, but I've told you that. Why do you get it out of me? And it wasn't even that I was trying to.
Yeah.
It was just that I suppose they were being met with that compassion or just a little bit of understanding. And I was just really listening, I suppose, and learning as I was going along. And I suppose, God, I've learned so much more about men in the last 3 years than I've had in my whole life. Being 52 now, I'm just I've learned so much more about men, and this upsets me a little bit because I could have, if I'd known what I know now, I could have probably saved my marriage.
Yeah.
And I could have, this is the heartbreaking thing about it, is that I know so much more now about things that men struggle with that I wouldn't even thought of. And then, can I help more women know what's going on in their men's lives by, doing my posts and things like that? So, yeah.
That is so good, honestly. I was going to say, I think everyone's fucking wife could do with someone like you to go and have a cocktail with them or something and be like, this is what's going on in your man's head. So
yeah. I just don't think most women understand that men have grown up through their whole lives, probably from the age of going to primary school, believing or showing that emotions are a weakness. That the boys, even of age 4 or 5, are conditioned this from a young age. And I don't think women get that. I don't think they'll ever understand what it feels like to go through your whole life not being able to express how you feel.
Yeah, 100%. And what you just said then, I remember something distinctively. Is that right? Dead random, but what you said then, I remember being in a shop. It's like a toy shop or whatever. It was about a year ago or so, and I was with my daughter, and there was another little boy. I think he was 3-4 years old or something, and he picked up a Peppa Pig toy. And I think he was with his nana or something. And he said to his nana, I want this. And his nana said, no, you don't play with Peppa Pig. You're a boy. Peppa Pig's for girls. And then I looked at my daughter and she said, is it just for girls? And I said, no. I said, it's for whoever wants to play with it.
Yeah.
It just that little comment, it really annoyed me because I thought, it's not for boys. It's not for girls. It's for anyone. And my brother as well bought his son, who was 3 or 2 at the time, he bought him a princess dress for Christmas because he loves dressing up as princesses. Yeah. And a lot of other people would be like, you can't let a boy wear a dress. But I just think it's beautiful. Let them be who they want to be. Do you know what I mean? Because why would you be like, you can't do that, you can't do that? Because then, like you said, it then ripples into that whole having that, conditioning them from an early age to the point when they think then they have to provide for a woman, they have to do this, they have to get all this and then they get into them financial difficulties and they do find they get in debt and they can't open up to the woman because they feel embarrassed and ashamed that they're not the man of the house, and and then that can easily lead to things like suicide or even just depression, and then that makes the fucking marriage break down. And it is everything you said just hits the fucking nail on the head. And that's why men, I think, find you so easy to talk to, because you're so understanding and relatable, and you get it, and that's
Yeah, I mean, I probably didn't get it though at one point, and this is the thing. I've only got it by listening and to men, by having these conversations with men and asking the questions, and I wouldn't have known anything like what I know now if I hadn't started Men Against Mountains. I still would have been blindsided, and I just don't understand that when you're in a relationship with someone like for 20 plus years or whatever, and you're not seeing the distress, I think men show their distress. You can see it in their eyes, you can see it in the hunch of their shoulders, you can tell by their quietness sometimes. When a man goes quiet, that is when he's probably thinking the most and struggling the most, you know. But we're missing this. Like, women are missing it, and I'm not just blaming it all on women. It's not women's fault, but
no, it's not at all. But sorry, I'm getting emotional.
I know, me too. Honestly, I had a little like choke in my throat then, because when a man goes quiet, it's their biggest fucking cry. That's it.
Yeah.
When he's silent and, you know, not sort of, you can feel him not in the atmosphere. That's when he needs you the fucking most.
It is. And that's when we lose men as well, though. This is, you know, when a man's quiet, it doesn't mean he's not feeling it. And we keep telling men they've got to talk. And this is all the campaigns all over Facebook and the charities, the wonderful charities, all about men talking. But we're never asking why men don't talk, you know, and we're not asking those questions. We're just saying you've got to talk. But are we listening? And that's the difference. And that's, I think, how we can change men's mental health is by asking those uncomfortable questions. You know, why don't you cry? What stopped you crying? And this is what we've just spoken about, is that it changes from like a really young age, you know, where boys are told to suck it up and don't cry. I hear it all the time when you, as you said, you go into the shops and the little boy's crying or he's falling over, and that little boy is crying his eyes out. Instead of just putting their arms around him, comforting, they're telling him to stop crying. You know, why are we telling boys to stop crying when they're hurt? You know, it's really, really annoys me.
Just having childhood flashbacks here, Mel. I'll be right with you.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's you see it every day. And this is not, you know, a parent's fault as such, but that's how, again, we've had years of doings and years of generational type of ways, and this just goes on through generation two, and we've got to be the ones that stop this and let boys just be boys.
That's true, Mel. And do you think the sort of gap that more so might need to be bridged is the men talking to their significant other and them not being judged for feeling the way that they're feeling? Because in sort of like my experiences and some experiences that my friends have shared with me is when they have opened up to their wives or partners or whatever you want to call them, it's been met with like judgment and like, no, you shouldn't feel that way, or why do you feel that way, instead of it being sort of inherited, listened to and understood where that person's coming from. Like, that's the gap I feel that needs to be bridged, because people who talk to you, you're a third party, you're a stranger, you don't know them, so obviously it's going to be far more easier to talk to you. And it probably helps that you are a woman, because I've got a woman therapist, and I don't think I would have been able to be so open to a male therapist. I much preferred the fact that she was a woman, because like I don't know, it was just far more easier to talk to her, because she wasn't my wife, she wasn't my grandma or anything like that. It was just easier. But having those conversations with your significant other, I feel there's a big like grey area that you sort of that needs to be, I don't know, identified, and find out what that little grey area is.
Yeah, I mean, from like, if I think about my marriage to my kid's dad, it was almost like if either of us wanted to say something, it's almost taken on the other side as personal, like it was a personal attack on the other person, when it necessarily wasn't. But I think that's the gap we've got to sort of, you know, it's not always about you. Stop making it about you. And I know women are, and this is, I probably get loads of like people hating on me, women hating on me, but women do make it about them. I've probably done it myself. When I've been in an argument, or my ex has been upset about something or whatever, and I've made it about me. And we've got to stop doing that. We really got to stop doing that. And I think if I ever am in a relationship again, it'll probably be the best one, because I will be sitting there and holding space.
Wow, yeah.
and not making it about me. You know, it's hard not to take things personal. I get it, but we've got to move on.
Yeah, I think like what everything you're saying is just bang on, like 100%. Yeah, and like you said, it's hitting home because, like I said before, about the the rawness and stuff. Like I said, I'm not going to go into it because it's not the right time. But like me and my partner recently split up, and a lot of what you were saying was like similar stuff. Like we couldn't really have a conversation without feeling like it was a personal attack on each other, kind of. And I think in our situation, I'd always say it was never like a like when you said about the the women not hearing the man or whatever. Like it was never like that really with us. It was like you said, it was more just about the communication of like feeling like it's a personal attack even when it's not. And yeah, like you said, that is a lot like communication as well. But like so much stuff that you've said is like proper resonating with me, and like it's crazy.
I know.
It'll resonate with you too.
We feel so seen, Mel. We really do.
Blue ticks on.
But do you think, Mel, on like a communicative scale, that men and women use language in a very different manner?
Probably not. I don't think. Not that I see some massive differences. I don't think. I think just men need a bit more time to get their words out.
That's fair. That's fair.
You know, they sometimes will be thinking before they speak, where women maybe can just do it off the cuff. I don't know, but men will sit in silence for a little bit before and contemplate what they're about to say. I don't think the actual language is much different. I just think the way we get things out are different, maybe.
Yeah,
I'd agree with that too.
Well, yeah, I'll move on to a next question anyway. So,
okay.
Yeah, I don't know whether any of these questions will have been answered because we've gone off on tangents and stuff in a really way.
Love tangents.
Yeah, so do you think the stereotype of females are better at opening up and expressing their emotions than men is accurate?
Yeah, I think that's sort of covered that a little bit, like as in women are more shown at a younger age to openly express their emotions anyway. They're nurtured more when they're younger for that. So there's just so much more concealment with men. So yeah, women generally find it easier, I would say. But that doesn't mean men can't do it.
Yeah, and when you say nurtured, is that more from like a parental perspective, like the mother and father?
Yeah,
will...
like you said before, like a boy will cry, he'll be told, "Oh, come on, stop crying." Where a girl, if she cries, she'll get the hugs and the comforting, and that goes through up into teenage years. And I think like teenage boys now, God, it must be so difficult growing up in this world right now. It must be so confusing for them.
Yeah, I agree.
Even for men in their 30s.
Yeah, well, same. I think the majority of guys that I've got more of a following over 40, and yeah, they'd probably say exactly the same as well. It's really confusing to be a male.
Yeah, well, I think obviously with you doing this page and more pages like this popping up, do you actually think that the stigma of men not being able to open up is slowly being like chipped away at and it's becoming less taboo?
Yeah. I think again in this community space that there is less stigma, and I think we just need to get out of the self stigma and teach men to sort of be able to open up and. But how they feel about themselves, I suppose it starts with a lot of men feel disconnected with themselves for so long that it takes that a little bit of nurturing and nudging in the right direction to be able to do it. But men do talk. Men are talking. As I said, I'll be listening, and that's, I suppose, the main thing. Whether that then can be crossed over into, into the relationships, into the workplaces. I know there's a massive movement right now in the construction industry with men opening up, because that's such a stigmatized type of work. It's a male-orientated workforce as well. But the suicide rates are so high in construction. I think, oh God, it's absolutely ridiculous how many men die by suicide who work within the construction industry. But there's still that stigma. So I know that's a massive movement right now is to look after guys within that's going on to the sites and talking about it.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think something you just mentioned on that as well. I don't know if this is true or not, but I was having a chat with my ex-partner the other day, and she said, what do you think the industry is with the most suicide rates? And obviously I didn't have a clue. I can't remember what I said, but she said it's dentists, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I was like, that's so random if it is.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I don't know whether that might be in the United States though, but yeah. I'm not sure. But yeah, a lot of these, I think obviously it can be quite isolating,
Yeah.
All those sort of industries, I think the suicide rates are highest in like men that do like the dirty, dangerous jobs, like that are isolated as well. Like construction industry, I know it's really high because a lot of the guys work away from home as well, so they're very isolated, away from their families and stuff like that. So I know that's high. Yeah, I have heard dentists as well.
You could imagine a construction site as well, couldn't you? Like if one of them come into work and was like, I'm not feeling too well, guys, at the minute. Like I'm struggling with mental health. You could imagine the fucking backlash they'd get if they said that.
Yeah, it's just that type of environment, isn't it? That you sort of that you like stereotypically imagine that it's just look like people like cat whistling and stuff to women or males walking past, and I can see why men in that industry would feel
that they couldn't
open up and just choose to just swallow their emotions and take them home with them and just let them like eat them up inside.
Yeah, and I think that's like what you said, like the stigma is being chipped away at, but that self-stigma of can I open up, I'm going to be laughed at, it's embarrassing, all these sort of contributing factors, can make it that much harder. But I'm seeing men having breakthroughs. I'm seeing men every single day on my feed, and this is why I followed the guys back that necessarily are, just not even mental health advocates. They are just generally lads, that follow my page wanting to try and get better mental health, I suppose. And, you see these breakthroughs that they're actually starting to speak out about their own journeys, just in little bits, slowly but surely. But yeah, I'm seeing so many men having breakthroughs. It's such a wonderful thing to see.
Definitely.
It is, yeah. I think that's partly why people sort of come and like listen to us, because we're like the epitome of regular, average Joe lads. So if we're hoping that if people can see us doing it, us being open, and we're just like I said before, just the everyday lad, and it's like, well, oh, hang on, if they're doing it, then surely I can. And like if that happens off the back of what we're talking about, like, that's a big win.
Yeah. There's so many masculine norms, isn't there, that you guys have to live up to, and then you've got like the hyper masculine sort of type, which is the next extremes of everything. Like the gym guys, and you've got to be big and and masculine and all this sort of bulging muscles and stuff like that to make you more of a man. And so there's so much that you guys are up against as such, to try and sort of normalise that, two lads drinking a couple of beers can open up about their mental health. There's nothing wrong with that. Two guys at the gym can talk about how they're feeling. It's not going to make them any less masculine or any weaker by doing so. But yeah, I think we just got to get past all this like facade and fluff, I suppose. It's so annoying when you see it still in society, but as I said, it is being chipped away at, and I think by guys like you, by the normal man speaking out about how he feels, we'll get there. We will really get there.
Yeah, and do you find when you are speaking to males and stuff openly, do you find yourself thinking, wow, that's not the most masculine thing that you can do, but you're like, what a manly thing to do, to open up to being vulnerable. Do you find that sort of more masculine than, a guy showing you how much he can bench?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, I mean, I work in a gym, so like I see those guys benching, but they'll also come out and have a cup of coffee with me and tell me their life story. So, is this, what's that norm of what society thinks men do and how they act and who they are? When, you see this other side, and like some of the things the men have spoken to me about, like, it always keeps me really humble, for starters, but it breaks my heart. Some of the things have broken my heart over and over again. And hopefully we've found like solutions to those heartbreaks and stuff. But yeah, there's still a long way to go.
That's true, and I did see some pictures of you on your Instagram looking particularly buff, so I didn't want to assume that you worked in a gym. But like, what do you do in the gym? Are you a PT or something like that?
No, I just work in there. My own mental health. I used to work for the Ministry of Defence for a long time and had a really high profile job. But then after I got really poorly with my own mental health, like I just didn't know how to get back into the workplace. And I think that is one thing that's not spoken about, is the financial implications and the stresses that when you are going through, having to give up your job or something that was really important to you, and then trying to get back into the workplace after you've been out for a few years is really fucking hard. And I don't think men necessarily will take time off work. And that's another thing we need to normalise, is that it's okay to press pause, and it's okay to, your mental health and your well-being is so much more important than the job,
Definitely.
Yeah, so some companies are introducing like a sort of additional to the annual leave to having like a mental health day or something like that.
Yeah, it's definitely changing. There are, it's almost like with all the mental health first aiders in the workplace now, as well as like the physical first aiders, it's so needed in the workplace. I've been on the other side of that, where I wasn't bullied, I was bullied, and it's honestly, it's tough. And this is before mental health was even like a thing, you know what I mean? Before it got trendy, I suppose.
That's true. So with your page, Mel, like what's your sort of, what does success look like for Men Against the Mountains?
What do you mean, where I want to take it?
Yeah, like what's like your sort of not end goal, because obviously you don't want it to end, but like what would you consider success?
I don't know. I think it already is. You see, to me, like what you said at the beginning resonated with me, was like, if I help one person a day, then that is enough for me, sort of thing. I don't really know where I want to take it. I think it's working really nice as it is. It's doing its job of what I set out to do, is really help people.
100%.
I did start I had like talking groups in my local area before COVID. So we did like boxing clubs, and I am going to start them back up again. It's just, COVID just threw so many things in the works.
Oh, definitely.
But it's definitely something I want to do again. I just need to get my arse in gear. I'm sort of a big procrastinator. And I think, I'll do that next week. And then I get so involved with the page and answering messages and helping people that I tend not to necessarily take Men Against Mountains where it maybe could go.
No, 100%. Like I said, you've got like 8,000 followers. We've got like 400, and we find ourselves too busy sometimes. We get like one message a week or something. Just before Christmas, I was noticing there was a lot of guys really struggling with this sort of situational sort of type of, when it comes to Christmas, they miss out, especially the single dads and stuff, that not seeing their kids, and people missing people, and some people are really fucking lonely. I just set up a WhatsApp group, and
and that is just popping. Like we're just gradually adding people into the group. And I've given one of the lads like the facilitator of the group now as well, because I get up to about 40, 50 messages a day on Men Against Mountains.
Wow.
That's how crazy it is. Yeah, which I'd mainly pinpoint to services and also link them up with other men within the page, you know, some life coaches and people like that become really good friends who wouldn't necessarily charge them or anything, would just be there to, like, as I do, as like a listening ear. You know, and just like connect people, like connect the like-minded relationships. But yeah, we've got the group as well. And then if I can get the walk-in and talk groups back up and sort of the type of Andy Mann's type sort of talking group, you know, they're amazing.
Yeah, well,
but yeah, just do some in my local community, because I think that's really important.
What I was going to say, sorry, where is it you are actually based, Mel?
I'm in Peterborough. You don't want to ever come to Peterborough.
Well, I've been to the service station in Peterborough when I was travelling to London, and that's the only time I've been.
Yeah, that's probably the thing with the passport office.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I just stopped off and had a piss and got a burger. I think.
Yeah, there is like a massive McDonald's and like KFC and stuff. Yeah, that's on the outskirts. I'm in a little village just on the outskirts, so it's quite nice. I'm sort of got fields all the way around me. It's lovely.
Nice.
But yeah, I'm bit too old for city living now. I'm just like, I think I'm going to end up being one of those people that will go completely off grid.
Yeah,
when I'm older.
It's the best way to be. I just wanted to ask, sorry, because I think we've asked all our questions, but I did want to ask earlier on when you mentioned it, but I think it got to the point where it had already been spoken about. I didn't want to randomly just bring it up mid-conversation. But I know you mentioned that you started the page with your friend who kind of stepped back due to his mental health. Yeah. I just wanted to ask, like, is he okay? Like,
yeah. I mean, this is like part of the story that I haven't really spoken about, because it's going to be a really difficult thing to talk about, considering I talk about male suicide and stuff. But yeah, he's really good, and I'm like totally made that he's good, but at the time he wasn't very kind to me at the time either, but that's another story. But all that's good is that he is good.
Definitely.
You know, yeah.
Yeah, that's good to hear. And if you do get like more influx of messages and stuff, then maybe you can send them our way, Mel, and we can take them off your hands if they want to come and tell their story. Then we're here.
Yeah, if you ever need guests and stuff, I can send loads of people your way. You know, guys that there's a couple of ones that you'd probably really love to have on. They're really like gritty and deep, you know, stories. What ones that like threw me as well, like had to go off air and sort of literally sort of go and gather myself up because my heart was in my mouth.
Wow. So we have had certain stories, haven't we, that have been really deep.
Yeah, we have, yeah.
But even like speaking to you today, Mal, like it's been different because obviously we've only ever spoken to guys before, so it's been really nice getting a female perspective. But obviously, like just you just get it, and it's just so nice. And like there was a point when you was talking earlier on where I teared up as well, and that, you know, that's never happened before on the podcast. So, you know, it's really nice, and I have really enjoyed speaking to you, and it's been amazing.
No, thank you. Thanks for having me on. Like, I'm glad that I'm sort of honoured to be the first female guest as well. Hopefully, you'll have some more on. You know, I think we need to have these different conversations. You know, as well. Definitely. So important for the wider conversation in mental health.
Yeah, we do have another woman, but don't we? We have someone called Cindy from Canada.
Yeah, Cindy's coming on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, so like we're expanding out from Peterborough and beyond.
I know. But how wonderful is it that you can connect with people all over the world? 100%. Like I've had my last 3 lives have been like in Australia or Canada, and it's wonderful that how we're all connected and we're all in this sort of space, and it doesn't feel that we have to be on the other side of the world. You know, it's just No, it is. It's been amazing. I've really enjoyed this episode, and I actually can't wait to like
edit it, chop it, and listen to it.
Yeah,
And I never,
you might have to.
I was gonna. I never really listened to the episodes back, but this one.
No, that's my
really
job.
Yeah, you might have to edit a few bits. I was like getting tongue-tied. That's the worst thing. Like I did take my meds solely because they make me really sleepy, so I haven't taken them yet. Because snoozing. Yeah.
Well, you've still got the rest of your Friday night anyway, so...
I've got the weekend off as well. I've got my live on Sunday mornings. That's cool.
Oh, well, tune in, actually,
yeah. Whenever you're setting up something that we can, get involved with, Mel, then do shout us and we'll be happy to do so.
What time do you do it on Sunday?
Anytime. I go with whoever my guest needs. I mean, I was doing one at like 7 o'clock in the morning the other week because it and then, but whenever's good for my guest, really. I mean, sometimes I do have to work on Sunday, but I can do it from the gym. Yeah. If I just shut the door and it's cool. But if I do like the community lives, they can be during the week, if that's any better. And then it's all about what you guys do. So it's about celebrating and promoting community spaces, whether it's podcasts or walk talk groups and stuff like that. And that's something that I just started at the end of last year. So I think it's just so important to share other people's work. Like I'll share things on my story and someone will message me saying, I didn't even know that group exists. Thank you. That's like down the road from where I live.
No way. And
this is why it's so important to share like other people's work in our spaces, because you just don't know who's watching or who's listening in, or
100%.
Definitely.
That's true. We'll be able to follow you now, Mel. So we'll see when you go in live and when you looking for other parties to get involved and stuff like that. So we'll be on the lookout for sure.
Yeah, and I'll definitely start. I mean, obviously, I'll share this and. Anything I can do my end, just tag me in and anything and I'll share it.
Oh, defo. Well, this will be going out next Friday because we record like a week in advance now. So we're going out on Friday. Will it be like the 9th or something? The 9th of Feb, okay. I think. But yeah, I'm very excited for it to come out. And it's been amazing. Thank you so much for coming on, Mel.
No, thank you.
Yeah, well, enjoy the rest of your evening, Mel. And thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it. You've been great.
Oh, brilliant. Thanks so much, guys. Really appreciate it.
See you, Mel.
No problem. Thank you.
Bye.